So the Bandit to break off in match number 4. We often talk about match 3 of the night being massive because it usually eliminates a pair. Match 4 tends to be even bigger because it puts a pair on for home. But just with that draw in the second match of the night, it's just kind of disrupted almost our regular pairs cut rhythm, and all of a sudden both matches massive, and now James and Yussar won that. This game is huge for both pairings.
I'll tell you what, that jazz break is big, isn't it? That's on repeat now. We've seen a few of that from him, a few breaks of that scale. It's actually come out a little awkward. This first shot's tough for Hiten.
It's a very good shot.
Love the fact he floated through the gap. I thought he was going to have to try and punch it in and widen and get the yellow moving, but he floats the gap so the yellow goes left centre, and it's a little bit guarded, the one left at top right, but it's not bad.
Yeah, and you've got pretty good access to it with the one over the right centre hole as well. Kill this one in on the straighter side of the pocket, and you'll have a shot at the yellow. Just get yourself somewhere near that side rail.
Yeah, the problem is that the one at the bottom doesn't really fit the other two right now. I think you come down. Do you come down for the one now? And then try and get to the right-hand side cushion? Not there, though.
Ooh,
just quit on it a little bit. He wanted a nippy one where he's sort of coming back across it. Just quit on the shot a touch.
Yeah, he wanted it sort of above that red to the left of the cue ball, didn't he?
I thought they might actually just drop it in natural and try and get just to the right-hand side of the red, and then they're playing with a natural line where the yellow goes bottom left and the cue ball bottom cushion, right side cushion. You're in a great area for a long way, but they might have had just too much angle for that.
Yeah, that was really tough for Jas to take on. So first go in match 4 for autopilot at 𝗡𝗃𝗃𝗵. Now, I might have been joking all night about how their first match wasn't anything to write home about, but I can tell you two blokes who will be so incredibly uncaring about that, and that will be Shaun Storry and Scott Gillespie. They are long enough in the tooth to not give a single hoot about how they win, just that they do.
That's it. Two players that are winners, two players that know how to win. I think that the thinking there may have been if they may have just potted that a little bit on the thick side. If they pot it a touch thinner and track up, get the cue ball near the 8 ball, then that red might go off the yellow to top right, open up the pocket. That might have been the plan. And now I think it's just lost a turn, which may have well been their thinking anyway, rather than actually going anywhere near the aggressive.
The catenaccio from Storry and Gillespie continues. It's defence first pull, but that's what they've been presented with. They've exploited it really well.
Hiten almost looks excited to have a bit of a dart at this. He's got something up his sleeve. He was trying to get the other side of the red and track it towards the right centre pocket. That actually wasn't a million miles away.
What it has done though, he sacrificed the first frame, which will absolutely go the way of Scott Gillespie and Shaun Storry from here. Which is exactly what they dialed in the percentages for. That last pass turn shot. I had a penny for every one of those reds that I'd seen knocked in from Scott Gillespie down the years. I'd probably be able to get myself a meal deal or something, but he just loves that type of shot. So safe on it.
Just want to make sure you come high enough up the table that you're not sending the cue ball on a bad line off the last red. In truth, you got miles and miles of room, but that's why Scott came round to have a look. If you just pop that, just left it slightly awkward, you can get in a mess.
Pin perfect on this Scotch frame. Scott just getting up off the shot, just changing his mind a fraction. Right thing to do in that scenario. If you find your concentration for whatever reason a little bit altered, back up off the shot, restart, avoid anything silly happening. That was an unmissable 8 ball. And Scott Gillespie and Shaun Storry once again win the first frame.
If you said to me at the start of the night, Shaun and Scott will have only won 2 frames at this point, I wouldn't have believed you.
You'd have thought they were in trouble.
They've also not lost a frame yet. So, yeah, so they're okay.
You know, I say tongue firmly in cheek for a lot of what I've said about them tonight, but they've largely played perfect pool, really. They've not made a single mistake.
Agreed. They did what they needed to in the opening frame, which took a long time to do it, and then Shaun played frame 2 to perfection. They played that last frame to perfection as well.
Shaun Storry with a front ball break from quite a way west on the break line as we look at it, but he can be a tinkerer with his break, but I mean, whatever he tends to do, it tends to be pretty good, whether it be cut break, front ball, head on, to the side. He's got so much power, really good timing.
Reds look good here, but the red on the right-hand side looks to be the one to get to. When do you get to it and what do you play after it? I wondered whether he'd get rid of the one nearest the bottom left corner first, just because it's blocking the one above it, and then try and track onto that one on the right side. Shaun's seen it differently.
May have been. He might not have been on. It was tight. If he wanted to be straight in on this to go straight down the right side of the table, he's got a little bit too much angle, so work down the table required first.
That was a good flick. Without that, it was going to be very awkward on the next ball because it would have been a plant.
Had the results this year, Shaun Storry, that you might usually have seen him have. Quarter-final, just the one quarter-final I think it is for the season for 𝗡𝗶𝗵𝗵. You get the sense from what he was saying in his interview earlier that he's just sort of taking that as the run of the game sometimes in 8 ball. He feels like he's playing well enough to be where he needs to be. Just needs to find the right side of some 8-7s.
Yeah, that was a beautiful shot. That's the shot I thought he'd play second. You know, the last 2 shots back to back was how I thought he'd go about the start of the finish, and I think you might be right that maybe he couldn't quite see it to play it. Because the minute he lands there, you know the frame's over. If he had more balls on the table, you know that he's going to have less issues connecting them together off it.
I think he's worked it out beautifully, to be honest. Pretty flawless frame of pool from Shaun Storry.
It's been beautiful. It really has. Slight reroute after 2 shots and worked it out absolutely to perfection.
He's been in perfect position ever since. It's a really satisfying frame of pool to watch. Just really, really well worked out. And from about 3 shots left, it really was autopilot for Shaun Storry. You like those frames and get layouts like that where it's sort of one ball. Once you land on that one ball and you land on it well, you know you're going to win the frame. And that's what that was for Shaun. It took him
what, 3-4 shots to get there. Once he got there, it was over, and it was nicely done.
Frame 3, Jaspal Bhandal to break. Trailing 2 frames to nil.
So Jaspal Bhandal breaking off in frame 3. All the power. Oh, it's a golden duck. Can you believe it? 8 ball and cue ball down the holes, and out comes Daffy.
Tough one. Lost the cue ball. I said in the first frame that he'd been breaking with so much power, more than anyone else tonight. But look at that cue ball rocket in.
Look at the 8 ball. It gets 3 or 4 helping hands into that middle pocket. That is brutal for the hitman and the bandit. And for Shaun Storry and Scott Gillespie, well, their perfect night continues.
Does that go down as a commentator's curse? So I said he was breaking huge, and
I mean,
probably
he
as good as
broke
anyone
huge.
tonight.
You can't say he didn't break
That's
huge.
tough to watch, isn't it?
Scott Gillespie with a little bit more juice than he put into his first break of the night. This is second, and he's made a ball this time, and still that relatively controlled cue ball. But it served him well. Balls have split open, formed an interesting cluster up in the sort of the Lake District of the table, if you like. One for the Ordnance Survey fans.
I think you can play yellows here. The yellow nearest the top cushion can be made off the red, and then that can ping everything open if this next shot goes well. That's really nicely put as well. Well, the way that Scott's looking, I wonder, is he a touch too straight on it? You'd love angle so that you can get the cue ball down the table, because he's got to play this quite full. It's not, if he was just potting it, there's angle, but because he's playing it off the red, and that's why he changed his mind. He's not the best of shots from Scott, that one.
You could probably argue that's maybe their first mistake of the whole night.
Yeah, maybe it was half of each of them as well, because Shaun got him too far up the table. Probably wanted to be. You'd even rather have played top, played it into the top cushion off the red than what they actually had.
Don't think that was full-blooded. I think he was playing a cue ball first there. Shaun Storry.
He wasn't playing the double at all.
Yeah,
there's absolutely no way. And it's another sign of Shaun's match play, really, pulling back. There's no need to chase. 2 reds at the bottom that are a problem, red at the top that's a problem. Okay. Marginal second favourites in a tax to exchange on the numbers if you want to go that way, but marginal win at 3-0 up. It counters that easily.
Yeah, where Hitten's put that other red. Again, I'm referring to the top left section of the table for international viewers. But where he's put that red has made that really, really awkward. And again, I don't think that was playing the pot. That's all cue ball there from Scott Gillespie. Clever.
Yeah, this is similar to what they were doing, or what Shaun was doing in the first match. Just going to keep sort of basically contain, and if they lose this frame to a low percentage finish, so be it. What they don't want to do is give it away when you're 3-0 up with 6 to play. I
was going to say, that's the key part, isn't it? The fact they are 3-0 up with 6 minutes to play. They hold all the aces. Good luck with this.
Well, it's why timed ball has changed the game. Decision making, shot selection, all changes off. Oh, does that yellow go through the gap? It does. Oh, wow, that's opened everything up.
Yeah.
But they had to, in a way, they had to kind of gamble there. Obviously, from where he was, there was not a lot you could do anyway, but couldn't have come out worse. Look at that.
Yeah, that yellow sails straight through the gap. That, however, is not the best shot Scott Gillespie's ever played.
I think he must have been playing the cue ball into the red and didn't quite get the bite on that. That could be the table of touch, not having not played much on this cloth. Not played on it at all before tonight.
Yeah, 100% is a factor. I spoke with Scott before the night got underway, and he was out there practicing, and there was a couple of shots, which for Scott Gillespie stands, he's like, oh, and he's like, yeah, there it is. That's where it's just catching me out.
A little bit surprised there for sure. I suppose he didn't really have anything more aggressive on. And therefore he's tried to contain completely. I suppose he had to, didn't he? It's just a situation, 3-0 up, had to do that. It's just, it's made a mess of the what was an open layout for them.
Well, they could go if they wanted to. I think they can get to the potting angle, this yellow to right centre, but or cross double, nice. But where the cue balls ended up couldn't have really finished much worse for them.
Well, they can keep going now, but they're obviously going to lose the frame if they don't get it. The yellow does go through the gap, but you might be able to play the yellow off the red anyway and open everything up.
Wow.
Middle of the table. He's got that one wildly wrong, but he's going to be okay-ish.
He'd take that, I think.
Yeah, it's just deleting it down.
Play the double.
Shaun asked for the double. That's what he's got. It's not an easy one. Cue ball as well, not easy.
Pretty good effort. But they will give the frame away. They knew that would be the case when they went for that finish.
This needs to be quick.
Yeah, game's not over here for Hiten and Jaspal, and that's exactly what they need to focus on right now. Quick finish, don't miss, and 3-1. You break next. It's not over here. 3 minutes to go. Strangely, with the golden duck giving an instant win for Shaun and Scott, there's still a bit of time left in this match, although that from Hiten isn't ideal.
That's a poor one from Hiten. Double to save it. It's going to throw too wide.
Oh, and that will be the moment.
And even if they still win the frame, which they might, the fact that they can see the yellow means they're probably not even likely not to anyway, but it would cost them too much on the clock. That was a loose shot from Hiten, just trying to rush too much, which happens.
Great shot.
Scott Gillespie and Shaun Storry, I feel like they might be playing with us tonight. It's a great hit from Hiten. It's a pretty tough in off.
You know they are if they play another safety. Of course they're not going to.
So Scott Gillespie to fire in the winning 8-ball and to set up a shootout in the final match tonight. There it goes, 4-0 win then for 𝗡𝗶𝘆 and 𝗏𝗏𝘃, who are still yet to drop a frame tonight, but that doesn't even begin to scratch the surface of their night so far. But those two have been very, very good. Business as usual. Matches 5 and 6 are coming up.